To support this podcast, go to positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amount is appreciated. Once again, positivesarcasm.com/donate. Thank you and enjoy the program. Jay here, positivesarcasm.com, back from Thanksgiving break, live in the Spare Parts Studio. Live when I recorded this. Recorded alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast inside the Spare Parts Studio. Like, subscribe, share, donate. Positivesarcasm.com/donate. Any amounts appreciated. Oh, yes, I was. I by request. I had I have to do no shave November. I guess until I don't know, death. Yeah. So there's that. But I have to admit, I am actually able to. I've never attempted it. I'm actually able to grow a full beard. Did I do a good job? Yes, I did. But it isn't. Is it me? It doesn't feel like me. It doesn't feel like me. Was it well received? 100% it was well received. But I feel like I just prefer to be a low maintenance, clean shaven dude. It's just, I don't know. That's how I feel. That's just how I feel. I've been like that for, probably like 10 years now, clean shaven, and I just like it. I like it. I don't have to worry about food. I don't have to worry about dribble. It's easier to moisturize. It's how I like. It's how I like to look. I like to keep my hair, low maintenance. Sometimes up. Sometimes when it's short, it doesn't have to be up. But when it's short, I don't have to. I just put a little. I can put a little like lotion in it and be done. But that gives me the option. But I'm not gonna lie, I did a pretty good job with the beard. But it just, I don't know. I was. First of all, I did the beard, and then I did the cop, goatee thingy. That was terrible. You'll never see that. Never see the light of day of that. And then I did the mustache. Can I do a mustache? I guess. Who can really do a mustache though? Tom Selleck? Tom Selleck could pull off a mustache. Tom Selleck. Let's pull up a picture of Tom Selleck. Let me see. Tom Selleck. Tom Selleck can pull off the stash like really well. Let me see here. He's still got it to this day. For a while, he didn't rock it. But let me see. Article monitor? Yeah, it'll do it. Like, look at that. Look at that beautiful man right there. Even nowadays, like, well, it's not. I don't know if that's nowadays, but that was him in his later when he did Blue Bloods. Is he still doing Blue Bloods? But that's it now, which isn't bad. That suits him. I bet. Well, first of all, that dude could probably do a full beard for sure. What's that? Is he getting old? Yeah, he is. Tom Selleck is getting old. But then again, Jesus Christ, the guy's been around since the 70s. He's been acting since the 70s. So yeah. But he was a good-looking dude back in the day. Handsome son of a bitch. But yeah, there he is from Magnum PI. He could do the stash. Can I do the stash? I can, but man, you just gotta be some type of bro to actually pull that off. I see dudes at the gym rocking the stash, and all right, I get it. Fine, you're doing that. You're paying respect to the stash. I totally understand it, but it's not something that I'm into. Like, it's not something I can do. I don't think I can be taken seriously with any type of stash. But I understand it. I respect it. But I'm sorry that worm can't be under my nostril. It just can't. I can't do it. But the beard worked. I can do it. I can do it. I'm not afraid of it. But I gotta go a full 30 days, and I have to clean it up. And also, I do have, like, sometimes when some dudes when they grow a beard, there's like a spot, like a small spot generally, somewhere in their face where actually no hair grows. And I have it. I have it on the the right side of my face, just where the cheek, where my jawline hits, and it's just one little spot that just, I don't know, it's the fucking desert. It's the salt flats. Nothing grows there. So that's one thing that's the one downside. But ultimately, yeah, it connects very well to my mustache. It connects very well around the mouth. It goes all the way up to the neck beard is annoying. Neck beards are stupid. So that has to get trimmed down. But that's difficult too, depending upon your jawline. It's like, how far do you shave up before, when you make facial expressions, all of a sudden you go from having a beard on your face to having no beard on your face? It's like, what do you call it? Low tide, high tide with your beard. So that was something I was like kind of struggling with in the very beginning, because it's my first time actually doing it. But I managed it pretty relatively well. I'd say about solid 2 weeks in. A solid 2 weeks. No, I'd say by the third week, I was in good shape. Like, I was like, okay, this is fine. Like, I can, yeah. But ultimately, it's like I missed this. You didn't get to see the whole thing because I took a break during Thanksgiving, so I didn't post anything that week. But that was when it was like, poof, there you go. But that went, I'm glad I made. Hey, you know what? It's another thing I can do. But I like when I'm really lean in the summertime, and my jawline and my face kind of like it drains of any excess water and stuff like that. Like right now, it's a little bit of puffy, but during the summertime, and those jawlines, all the muscles in my face, they kind of exposed, and it really, like, I like it. I really like how that kind of setup is to me. So I did that, and yeah. So respect to the beard guys. The original, one of the former members of this podcast way back in the day, has a beard. Is a solid beard too. Looks like the guy, the E from Eels. Anyways, yeah, I'm back. There will be, obviously, I'm back for a few more weeks until the Christmas break. The Christmas break, basically, it's the week, that week of Christmas I take off, and then I'm back the first week of January. And then we get after it. And then next Q1 of next year, it's going to be interesting. We're going to see what little Jay is made out of. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, hit me up on my website, positivesarcasm.com. You can go ahead and email me directly if you want, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. Podcast is available anywhere podcasts are downloadable, including Spotify, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Apple Podcasts. Video version is on Rumble and, of course, on YouTube. There was something that concerned me greatly. A few things have concerned me greatly over the last few years, but there was this final nail in the coffin was something called the BOI, where the federal government apparently, it's all in another genius move, which obviously they did it for dystopian purposes. Sorry, Tom, I gotta get rid of you for a minute. They wanted to create a small business database. So anybody who owns a business, I don't care if it's a fucking lemonade stand owned by 12-year-olds, you had to register your business with the federal government, which is not a federal government thing. It's state by state. But here's the thing: if you didn't do it, you could be fined, you could be jailed. It was wild. This BOI, and what's crazy is that a lot of money and investment and hiring for the federal government was put into practice on this bullshit. Never existed before. Just decided, hey, we're gonna start this thing, and all you small business owners, you're gonna be put in this database, and we now can go from having you. We know you own a business, so now we can track you even more. It was all about tracking you. So if you make $1, they want to know about it, and they want to tax you on it. And quite frankly, it's nobody's goddamn business at all. Okay? I already pay so much in taxes for just the things that I do in general, that all of a sudden you want to know a little bit more about me? No. That's no. It's just another thing that they can keep track of you. Oh, and you know what's funny? It's like, oh, small businesses only, because we definitely know that is where the cheating and the lying is taking place. Not the multi-million-dollar businesses that were exempt from the BOI. No, not them. Not Wells Fargo, not Pfizer. No wrongdoing there whatsoever. They were completely exempt from the BOI. But me, little podcaster with no viewers, no, I'm the one who makes posing music for fitness competitors. I'm the one you got to worry about money laundering and buying crypto that's not on chain. That's what you're concerned about, huh? Me? Well, thank God a judge in Texas blocked the shit out of this and deemed it unconstitutional, apparently, on the Fourth Amendment. So unless it gets appealed or they threw an injunction on it and said, yeah, no, bro, we're all set with that. So as of right now, it's completely dead. And with new administration coming in next year, I don't think you're going to see this shit ever again. But unfortunately, millions of businesses have already signed on to this bullshit BOI list. Thankfully, PositiveSarcasm.com is not one of them. Although I did have it in my list of things that I had to do because I didn't have a choice. I didn't. There was no choice to be had. There's no ability to vote on this shit. Well, we did vote on it, actually, just recently, if you catch my grift. But, yeah, I don't see this coming back. I think the next administration is not going to be bothered with any of this garbage. So, thankfully, it's one less thing I have to submit to. Yeah, that was it. Just thought you guys know there is still a list out there for millions of small business owners who have signed up, but that list has got to go. And hopefully somebody can get in there and make that list disappear. At least I hope that they can. But, so yeah, before we get to the .com Q&A, I used to work for a health insurance company called United Healthcare. Probably arguably the second or the first or second largest health insurance company in the United States. It's massive. Massive. And that's just United Healthcare. That's United Healthcare, which is under an umbrella of United Health Group, which is like AARP and premium plans. I think they also own John Deere and a bunch of other stuff. I mean, they're huge. They're absolutely massive. But yet each one has a CEO. The CEO of United Healthcare was shot to death around 6th Avenue in New York City. One of the richest streets in the world. And he was walking out of a building or walking into a building, and he was clapped multiple times. The CEO, not an exec. Oh, he is technically an exec, but just literally the CEO, the chief executive officer of the first or second largest healthcare company in the United States is dead. Think about that. That is an assassination. That is a flat-out assassination. That's not just a murder. That's an assassination. We have no idea who the person was who did it. You'll probably never see them again. And this is what New York has done to itself, where it is absolutely insane gang violence, just immigration issues there. It's wild. This has to be some type of, this right here should be the thing that says, okay, New York City's done here. All of you, get out. That is where it should be. This has to be that's the precipice. This is the pivotal moment here, where a chief executive officer of a multi-billion-dollar company gets shot in broad daylight attending a shareholder conference or something. Died shortly after getting to the hospital. That's crazy. That's absolutely wild. I don't think they'll ever find that dude. No matter how many cameras in New York City, that dude was completely covered head to toe. He'll shed a few clothes, jump in an Uber or whatever, and that's it. That's the end of it. He's gone. So I'm curious to see what New York City is actually going to do as a whole after this insanity, this assassination successfully took place. And it makes NYPD out to look like idiots. And I'm not saying they are, but it makes them look out to be. Because there may not be anything that they could do about it. But this is, you know what? After everything, all the bullshit rules that have taken laws that have taken place in New York City over the past couple of years, this doesn't surprise me. This doesn't surprise me. I'll be more surprised at what they do next. Anyways, hey, by the way, before we get to dig.com Q&A, I told you guys to buy last week, 2 weeks ago. I told you guys to buy. I just said buy everything. Just literally buy everything. And sure enough, 2 weeks later, a lot of money was made. A lot of money was made. And you know what? I still think there's a lot of money to be made. Because at the end of the year, a lot of people need to be selling off due to tax write-off season. So the thing is, though, is there really anything to lose? Because the stock market is at all-time highs. So is there anything really to sell off? And with interest rates continuing to go down slightly, ever so slightly, ever more, ever consistently, our borrowing is going to go down, demand's going to go up. I don't see that tax loss happening, unless you were big into energy stocks. Then I can understand it. But crypto, no. Securities, like monthly securities, no. Banks, no. Foreign investments, no. YOLO stocks, no. Indexes, no. Resource, minerals like gold, silver, no. Where do you sell off to? Tech stocks, no. So, anyways, let's jump into the article monitor here. I told you to buy. I told you guys to buy. I mean, and I'm, for entertainment purposes only, but, everybody else was saying it. I was saying it too. I've been the direct supervisor of Bob since 2022, but I also previously his supervisor in another position. I worked with him in some capacity for almost 10 years. In many ways, he'd been my closest friend at work. We worked together on many projects, and I often talked to him about things going on outside of work and in other relationships. Recently, my best friend Lori, a psychiatrist, decided to unload a list of grievances on me, and in a heated moment said, "Bob told me that you weren't supportive of me." The thing is, as far as I knew, Lori and Bob had us never met. I was shocked and asked how she knew him. Turns out she was his psychiatrist for years, including after he decided to come work with me in 2022. Apparently, she encouraged him to find a new doctor that time, but he didn't want to. So she kept him on. I feel that was a conflict of interest. I feel so betrayed in this situation. There were so many instances where I have said something to either of them about the other, and neither of them ever told me. I feel like they were voyeurs in each other's lives through me. Also, Lori telling me is a clear HIPAA violation. So now I'm stuck keeping her secret, because as angry as I am considering ending the friendship, I don't want to destroy her career. I'm stuck working with Bob. He is realizing that I'm pulling back, but I haven't said why. My plan is if it comes up, I'll say that I've decided to have very strong boundaries at work. But the whole thing feels horrible, weird, and isolating. Should I tell my boss or HR? I'm worried that this will spill out somewhere in the future, not through me, but maybe through Bob or Lori. Neither has demonstrated great decision-making skills, and it will come back to haunt me. Okay. Well, I think there's definitely an ethics violation here. When it comes to like HIPAA privacy and stuff like that, I think there's a bigger ethics violation there. I can't put a pin on it. There's got to be like an HR, a human resources like guru in this scenario, somebody that could actually tell you a clear-cut scenario. But obviously, talking to Bob is done. You can tell that. Be like, listen, Bob, I found out some things, and quite frankly, I can't talk to you anymore. Out of respect for other people, I'm going to omit the finer details, but you and I are done. And then if there's a possible conflict of interest there, pursue it. But ultimately, you can't trust these people. If you can't trust these people, you don't want to talk to them. If you don't want to talk to them, you can't work with them. But you need to not set boundaries. You need to tell people, hey, you know I know that you know that I know. So there you go. We're done here. And cut off ties from them. Okay. I have accidentally canceled Thanksgiving, and I want people to stop texting and calling me about it. My parents host Thanksgiving, but for the past few years, my mom has been too frail to take on the cooking and cleaning. Well, okay. My dad has never been a guy who helps around the house, so my wife and I go over the plan. Organize, cook, clean, blah, blah, blah. The illustration that she's still in charge is very important to my mom. My parents invite my brothers and their families, and also have cousins. Some cousins. My mom doesn't vote, which is bad. My dad, brothers, and their wives are also socially conservative. At holidays, they're polite on the surface, but quick to announce how those people are ruining this country. After a few drinks, my wife and I are lesbians, so we're under the category of those people. That's not necessarily true. Come on. So we're under the categories. This year, I pleaded with my dad and brothers individually to consider my rights when they voted. Instead, Dad sent around a congratulatory family-wide text about the Trump win immediately after the election. I'm not cutting off my family, but I don't need to spend the holiday with them this year, and my wife deserves better. I leaned into the fiction that anyone besides us does the holiday work instead of telling them I thought they betrayed me in every way. I politely texted my family and told them we can't make it this year, but I hope you have fun. No reasons, no argument, just a polite refusal. Okay. We booked a cheap trip to an off-season resort to make it harder to back down. Now no one will leave me alone. I'm not picking up any calls or answering anyone, but my mom keeps leaving voicemails of her crying. They've somehow roped my cousins into texting me. How do I get this to stop? Well, yeah, you got to be honest about this stuff. Be like, listen, the political stuff is so reprehensible when people are so like shouty about it. I understand there is to a degree, but ultimately, I hate. It's like it's just such. It's so. I'm so godfathery about this scenario. It's like no religion, no politics at the dinner table. It's like, what are you doing? It's just like you know that other people probably think or vote or have compassion in a different way. It's like you can't be doing that, regardless of whether or not that person's right or wrong. It's just the idea of putting that out there to the point where other people in the family are uncomfortable. It's like you don't need to. Yeah, you just don't need to boast about it. You don't. Unless you just don't want those people to be there. In that case, go nuts with it. Do you? But on the flip side of things, do you have every right to like not go and not deal with it and take a vacation somewhere and quite frankly tell them the truth that you guys maybe I feel comfortable this way that way and blah blah blah, that we're just gonna go take a vacation somewhere. Yeah, you can tell them that, and you know what? I don't blame you. I really don't. I don't care how you vote. The idea is that you don't bring that to the dinner table. You just don't. You don't bring it to the dinner table. You don't bring it to the holidays. You just leave it be. You just leave it be. You don't go near it. You just like you can't have that be a part of the table conversation. It's just not good. It's not healthy, and quite frankly, it causes more problems than it helps. All right, let's do one more. My neighbor Trina came out to me as a lesbian when she was 16. Asked me not to say anything to her parents as they are conservative Catholics. Last summer, the day after Trina graduated from high school, her parents found a card from Trina's girlfriend, confronted their daughter about her orientation. When Trina told them she was a lesbian, they kicked her out, and she ended up on my doorstep, sobbing with a hastily packed suitcase. Add insult to injury, her parents are also refused to pay her tuition at college, so she would be attending in the fall. Good God. 25 years ago, I won a significant amount of money in my state's lottery. Thanks to savvy investments, I'm set for life. Several lifetimes, in fact. I'm not married, don't have kids of my own, have decided to pay Trina's way through college. Trina left for school in August. I'm happy to say she's thriving from her repressive parents. A few weeks ago, I was having a lunch with my sister Madison. Told her about what happened to Trina. Madison was all sympathy and I told her the decision to pay for Trina's education. Then she upbraided me for paying out so much money for someone who isn't family. I was extremely generous with the entire family when I won the lottery money. I paid for my niece's wedding, bought her and her husband house. Wow. Fully funded Madison's son's college tuition, currently paying for her daughter's graduate program, covered Madison. Okay, we get it. Blah, 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 blah. When I pointed this out to Madison, along with the fact that I have known Trina since she was 3, my sister got huffy, so I left. So she has been giving me the cold shoulder since then, and worse, was told everyone in Trina is using me for money. I'm furious over the rift Madison has caused in the family, and half tempted to stop paying for my niece's graduate program, but I also don't feel right punishing her for her mother's deplorable behavior. All I want is for her to things to go back the way they were, especially with the holidays just around the corner. I usually host a big gathering we all look forward to, but since Madison upended everything, I know I'm probably going to be spending the entire time being hounded by the half my relatives. The trouble is that this will cause more friction in the family. If I exclude those who have a right to tell me what to do with my money, what's the solution here? You do what you feels right. And ultimately, if you don't want to pay, you want to pay for somebody, it's lottery money. So if it's not going to harm you in any way, shape, or form, hey, great, go for it. Good on you, bro. Good on you. It's up to you what you do with your money. 100% to the penny. To the very penny. It is up to you what you decide to do. Anybody gives you shit, tells you how to spend that money. Makes you feel guilty, blah, blah, blah. You can tell them to piss off. Tell them to piss off. I mean, it is only money. It's what you do with it. And you're helping somebody go to college, and even if it wasn't a lot of money, you could help them go to like a community college or a tech institute or culinary school or whatever. But you're doing what you think is right, and you have no problem with it. And if it's not going to hurt your bank account, then, good on you. Golf clap. And any family that doesn't approve, be like, you know what? You can piss off. And, I'll decide how to spend my money. But I think, them getting pretty much shut down, I think would be important. And just be like, listen, you got one warning. Don't bring this up again. And if this gets out of hand at Thanksgiving, probably done for good. So, something to consider. Anyways, you can find me on Instagram at @positive_sarcasm if you want to email me there. Positivesarcasm@outlook.com. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, of course, positivesarcasm@outlook.com. Or you can hit me at my website in the contact section. There's also, as far as downloading the podcast, it's available anywhere podcasts have a Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Podcast Addict. And then the video version is on YouTube and on Rumble. So if you have any questions about any of the things that I brought up, the CEO getting assassinated, beards, growing those, the Dig.com Q&A, stocks, and all this other stuff that I talked about, go ahead and email me directly through my, positivesarcasm@outlook.com, just, subject matter podcast. But in the meantime, thank you for listening, watching, subscribing, and I'll catch you all next week. Recorded here at the Spare Parts Studio alongside New Hampshire's beautiful seacoast. For entertainment purposes only. This has been a Positive Sarcasm presentation.